Welcome back, troglodytes, to your daily dose of guitar information, the Trogly's Guitar Show. So I recently ran across a site called Analogr that appears to be selling some pretty interesting memorabilia. Like we got Elton John's worn Candle in the Wind glasses, expected to reach up to $8,000. Johnny Cash's black leather suede coat, Paul McCartney signed stuff, Michael Jackson. You even got some Madonna in here. But what caught my attention is, hey, we've got some electric guitars in here too, some even being claimed to be celebrity owned, so I thought we'd check these out today, because I found one that deeply disturbed me. But our first one we'll take a look at tonight is a 2011 Gibson Les Paul 50 Studio Tribute in a satin gold finish. These are great guitars. I love the early 2010s era tributes. We're talking the 50s, the 60s, and the 70s tributes. They're not technically like studios, they're a step below them, but I love these guitars. They are fantastic. And let me tell you, $600 for one of these is a good price. I honestly don't understand how this website works. I don't see a timer on it. Is it just until people stop bidding? I don't know. But what's fascinating about this one is it's got a Gibson custom shop case with it. So that's like a $250 value on top of that. It looks like it's pretty heavily worn in this area, but I would not let that scare you away. If anything, it kind of gives it a cool relict vibe, although it appears to be natural. Or maybe it was induced. It's kind of hard to tell. It's got all the wear in all the places. I guess it wouldn't surprise me if that was an attempted relic job. But looking through all the photos here, it's also a dark back. It appears to be in okay shape, and it is indeed from 2011 and heavily worn. Apparently the pickups have been replaced with Seymour Duncans, but that doesn't really matter too much on a lower end Gibson. I would say if you could pick this up for $800 or less, it's a pretty good deal with that case. But hey, check this out, Paul Stanley S-1? Alright, so S1s are kind of cool guitars. Normally, they don't have another cutaway over here, so this is another auction site that has a double cutaway S1 / Marauder type thing. Apparently, Crimson Guitars bought that other one we talked about in the Gardiner Houlgate auction, so check him out. Maybe he'll eventually post a video on that, restoring it back to right-handed, or so I've heard. But this one, alright, still has the original pickups in it. Looks like we lost our chicken head selector knob, as well as the switch tip, but everything else is looking original on this one. Even the strap, nice. But oh wow, that's kind of cool. Paul Stanley's signature on the neck. I have never seen a guitar signed on the neck before like this. This is in the middle, the playing area, so you can't play the thing anymore unless you clear coat over it. But then it's dated 4/28 of 77. I'm gonna have to read the description on this one, but here's my theory. Perhaps this is one of the ones he smashed on stage, and then somebody just recrafted a new body for it and got a new pick guard, just used up the electronics. But let's see what story there is. Well, it says he owned it, and it was used on the Love Gun Kiss album. I guess somebody who's a bigger historian on Kiss would know better than I did, but I don't think they actually used these guitars, did they? It was more so, hey, we're gonna play these on stage and smash them for fun. So I might not be able to back up this story, but it does look like Paul might have signed this guitar at one point in time. But holy cow, they expect it to sell for that kind of money? No, not even close. Even if you could prove the authenticity behind the story, I really think you would struggle to get $5,000. And so far, it seems like the bids agree with me. $500. Not sure how long that goes on for. But yeah, now we need to talk about this one. This is the whole reason I wanted to make this video. Analogr. I'm sure you guys are nice guys, but fire your authenticity expert. They know nothing about Gibson electric guitars. This is Blatant Fraud. It's advertised as Ace Frehley's used and owned prototype Gibson custom guitar. So everybody knows the Ace Frehley burst. It's the cherry sunburst color. It's got the 3 DiMarzios. It's been reissued up and down 100 million times by Gibson in various ways. But then there's always that elusive blue sparkle one. Occasionally you'll find guys who do custom commissioned paint jobs of them, or people will rework some other guitars to kind of look like Aces. But the big one that Gibson has not ever done, a public release of anyways, is the blue sparkle. But this, I don't even have to show you anymore, is such a blatant fake, and they're saying it was owned by him. Ace Frehley's signed personal prototype. He's saying he used it. He signed it. It's a limited supply collaboration with Gibson, and only 3 of them were made, which I'm sure there is some truth in that. Gibson did make these for him, but not for the public. So if this were in fact true, this would be a very, very, very monumental listing. It would probably sell for close to $50,000. But no, it's a $300 Gibson knockoff. I mean, just look at that headstock. It's awful. The logo, nowhere near the right font. Ace face is completely bad. The truss rod cover, it's all smushed down here. Blatantly not the right style nut for a Gibson. Super poor fitting case. Gibson doesn't do the tweed case. Now, there's always an asterisk. There was the limited edition 57 anniversary ones that were tweed, but they don't look like this on the inside. I'm actually impressed this fake case actually has a combo lock on it. But then they're saying that's his signature. No, that's an engraving on the back plate. Fake. There's no fret nibs. Very sloppy inlay work. I don't even need to talk about that serial number. That's not right. I can understand a really good replica fooling a place, but this, they even have a close-up of the metric bridge. And that's not the output jack that Gibson uses. That's what you find on the import models. And yet they've taken photos of all this stuff and nobody has questioned any of it. Analogr. Seriously, get a new authenticator, because if this is slipping through your cracks, I can't trust anything else on your website. Is this story real? Is that a real 58 Gibson? Is that a true 56 Les Paul? Is this even Ace Frehley's signature on a Gibson toggle switch cap? Yeah, apparently that's a thing. So that's my rant for the day. But a big thing that's getting a lot of publicity lately is the lost Randy Rhoads guitar. It was just featured in Guitar World recently, and they're expecting it to bring upwards of $170,000. It's already been bid up to $150,000, but even if I was interested in this guitar, seeing that Ace Frehley, it just weirds me out. Now, again, I'm not commenting on any of the authenticity of the other stuff, because let's face it, I know absolutely nothing about Jacksons. I don't know all that much about Randy Rhoads' history. I mean, to me, this looks and plays the part. It definitely has a correct vintage era style looking case, but they really need to get that Frehley taken off the website as soon as possible. But oh, okay. So this one actually has an interesting story. So apparently Randy did not like several aspects of the white Jackson offset VRR1. So he commissioned Grover Jackson to craft him another guitar, which was a black offset V that they named the RR2. Apparently the issue with that first white one was the fretboard went too far into the body, so the black one kind of changed that up to make traveling up the neck a little bit more easier. So Grover Jackson sent him this new black one and gave him some time to give him feedback to see what else they might need to change before they have it exactly right. But unfortunately, he passed away before that could happen, and Randy never received the next guitars in the lineup. So Grover Jackson then puts those two guitars away, but decides to display them at a NAMM show, but number 3 accidentally got sold. And apparently that's what this is. So I get that it's part of Randy Rhoads, but it seems crazy that it would fetch that kind of money, when he probably never even played this particular guitar. Let's see, what else do they have here? A Gibson V2 with no estimate, and it's currently bid up to $2,000. Okay, so V2s were introduced in the very, 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 very late 70s, although you mainly associate them with being 80s. And they have these really strange boomerang pickups on them. They also kind of look like hearts. These sound like single coils, which is like the exact opposite of what you expect out of these things. But just like the E2, they came in layered woods. So this one has layers of maple, walnut, maple, and then you can see right here where it repeats the pattern. You can actually find variations of each. Some have the walnut on the top, some have the maple. But you can also see that they have the 5-piece maple necks on here with the walnut stripes going down there as well. And that's what's really cool about the walnut ones, is they actually have walnut necks with the maple stripes running down the center. I can't think of another model. I'm sure there is, but at the time of recording, that's the only 5-piece walnut neck I can think of. Like the Paul and the SG had 3-piece walnut necks, but doesn't have the cool maple stripes. But V2s are sweet. They came in so many custom colors. It would be fun to have one of every color, but these are mainly collectors' guitars more so than players. However, in 1982, before they completely discontinued this lineup, you actually can find humbucker variation ones. Even though they're generally in the candy apple red finish, I would definitely suggest those over the boomerang pickups. But hey, maybe you're just trying to be weird and quirky, do your own thing. I'm not here to judge. I need to get one of these on the show again because it's been a while. But so far, looking at this, yeah, everything looks stock to me, including the case. $2,000, fair price. Ooh, nice. A 68 Les Paul is next. It's got 3 bids on it, up to $27,000 already. You know, for one of these 68s, if that is indeed what it is, we'd have to look closer at the specs. Sometimes it's hard to tell on these. Appears to have the smaller style headstock. Potentially no volute. I don't see any type of pancake body. It'd help to look at the neck tenon just for fun, but that appears to have a pretty chunky neck on it. Looks like somebody painted it with shielding, otherwise it looks stock. And nice, we've got the true long neck tenon. Yeah, I'd say that's a 68. Not sure what's going on with our P90 pickups there. Were those also wrapped in like a foil? Somebody was really trying to get rid of the 60 cycle hum on that thing, that's for sure. See, this is fantastic. Look at all these great detailed photos. I'm still shocked about the whole Fraley thing slipping through the cracks. I mean, they even went as far as removing the tuners on this thing to make sure it was the original ones. Truss rod looks good on it too. But this one was owned by producer Michael Bainhorn, and he had first found this guitar while he was recording with Social Distortion. Mike Ness, he just had that signature guitar we talked about. He's well known for using a Les Paul Deluxe, modified with P90, so naturally picking up something that looks like that would make sense. But then apparently this has then been used to record some other albums with Ozzy Osbourne, Marilyn Manson, and even Black Label Society and Korn. I'm not sure how much of a premium, if any, that would really add to this one, unless, I mean, you got some really nice photos to back that up. But this will sell just on its own right for some pretty good money. And apparently this was John Shank's 56 Custom. Beautiful Alnico 5 staple pickup. One of the last years of them too, because 57 they start doing all the humbuckers and whatnot. This is another one of those guitars that I want to get on the show because I just love the original staple customs. Even reissues these days have become hard to get and expensive. And then who doesn't love a Carina lap steel guitar? Alright, troglodytes. I'd be curious, have you guys ever messed with Analogr? So far, I'm disgusted and impressed at the same time for certain things. They definitely have a way of curating some interesting stuff. But, I mean, if you're gonna sell something, you should probably get it vetted first, guys. But alright, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you tomorrow on the next one. Take care.